If you love drama shows, then you'll know about NBC's This Is Us. This Is Us follows the Pearson family and their emotional stories of life, love, and family, and has kept fans hooked for 6 seasons now. With many heartfelt and wholesome moments, there have been some incredibly difficult things that the characters had to go through in the show, and in today's video, we'll be looking at the most heartbreaking moments. If you're interested to know the most heartbreaking moments from This Is Us, make sure to keep watching. Before we begin this video, if you enjoy content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to turn on post notifications so you could be the first to hear about my next video. Alright, let's get into it. Number 1, when we find out how Jack died. In the Super Bowl episode, we finally found out how Jack died after a long time of burning questions. We found out that he didn't die in the house fire as originally anticipated, but he had a heart attack after inhaling all the smoke, and that's what ultimately killed him. He went back into the house to save the whole family, the dog, and the photo albums, and because he was a hero, he died, which is incredibly heartbreaking and tragic. Possibly the most heartbreaking part of all of this is when Rebecca went to grab a candy bar from the hospital vending machine, we hear a voice whisper, "Beck," which happened right before Jack died. This one really gets us and will forever be one of the most heartbreaking moments in This Is Us. Number 2, saying goodbye to William. During a farewell trip, William took his son Randall to his childhood hometown so Randall could meet his cousins, and they all shared beautiful memories together, which was quite a heartfelt moment. This was expected to just be a fun, lighthearted trip, but turns into a super heartbreaking episode when William loses his battle against cancer away from home. William never made it back home to say goodbye to the girls and everyone else, including Beth, and this was also a huge loss to the audience and is considered one of the most crushing moments in This Is Us. Saying goodbye to William will never not be a tough episode to rewatch, so if you're thinking of rewatching This Is Us, be sure to grab some tissues. Number 3, the big fight. If you're a This Is Us fan, then you'll know about the big fight and what a heartbreaking moment that was for the audience to watch. Randall went behind everyone else's backs to convince Rebecca to join a clinical trial that could possibly save her life, and this put him at odds with Kevin, who didn't agree with it and put the two in a huge fight. This fight was not just a small one, however, it had led to not talking for months and not even celebrating their birthday together, which is super heartbreaking. Yet this wasn't even the worst thing. The worst thing was that the brothers said some pretty horrible things to each other during the fight. Randall claimed that Jack died ashamed of Kevin, and Kevin replied, "I used to think my worst day was the day Dad died. It was the day they brought you home." Ouch. Definitely a heart-shattering moment for the audience and for the characters as well. Let's hope this bond gets better soon so we can see our favorite duo reunited. Number 4, Randall's anxiety. We've seen Randall struggle with his anxiety since the first season, and especially in season 1, he took on a lot of work without taking a break for his mental health, which led his anxiety to worsen until he ended up having an anxiety attack. And when he called Kevin, Kevin was the best brother ever and left right before his big entrance for his Broadway debut, and ran across town to be there for Randall because he knows that something isn't right. This is both a heartbreaking and heartwarming moment because we're upset to see Randall's mental health worsen, but we're super touched that his brother dropped everything to be there for him. Kevin and Randall moments are the moments we live for on the show, and we hope to see more of them. Number 5, the What If episode. This one's really heartbreaking, so brace yourself. After Rebecca decided that she won't be taking part in the clinical trial, but rather spend the rest of her life living it to the fullest with her family around, Randall realized his chance at saving her was slipping away, and he was as helpless as he was trying to save his father, Jack. In therapy, Randall discusses this and then goes into what would have happened if Jack didn't die in the fire, and if Rebecca came clean about William and all the things that could have happened and how different life would have been. In the episode, we see things could have been like and the kind of man Randall would have been until the end of the episode, where Randall gives a heartbreaking plea to Rebecca to change her mind so that he can have peace of mind that he did everything he could to try and save her. This is definitely one of those cry-worthy moments, like a lot of moments on the show. Number 6, when we find out about Jack's death. This happens pretty early on in the show, but we already know that we're in for a wild ride. At the end of the first episode of season 2, we see Rebecca driving home with the back of Jack's belongings, which already gives us a hint to his death. We then see Kate and Randall crying in Miguel's house trying to process what happened. Nobody knew how it happened or why, but it still hurt so bad that her beloved Jack was gone. Probably one of the most painful moments in the whole show, and audiences still haven't been able to get over it. Plus, people are still pretty mad at the writers for doing that to Rebecca and the kids. Was it really necessary? What were your thoughts on Jack's death? Let us know in the comments below. Number 7, Kevin's breakdown. This was truly heartbreaking, as this moment was one of the first times we saw a vulnerable Kevin who wasn't always putting on a brave face. Kevin's alcoholism got pretty bad, to the point where he messed up a speech at his alma mater because he was so drunk. After a one-night stand with an old classmate, he realized a few days later that he lost his wheel necklace, the only thing he had of his late father's. He then headed back to his hookup's house, crying on her front lawn about it. This was truly heartbreaking to see Kevin so low after we're so used to seeing him be brave and take initiative. Number 8, Randall learns the truth about William. This is another super heart-wrenching episode in the first Thanksgiving episode of the series. Through an old letter and school photo of Randall, he learns that Rebecca knew who William was and purposefully hid that from Randall. He was so angry that for the rest of dinner he couldn't even look at or sit near Rebecca at all. Rebecca was also so heartbroken that she hurt Randall so deeply because she was afraid of losing another child, just wanted to protect him. We can understand both sides of the story, but it's still super heartbreaking to see Randall and Rebecca so upset after Randall found out the truth about William. Number 9, Sophie's mom dies. We find a lot more out about Kevin when he finds out that his ex-wife Sophie's mom died. Kevin goes to the funeral to support Sophie, and the episode reveals how close Kevin was with her mom, with how supportive she was in her life, his love for Sophie, and his hard acting career. Sweet to see how supportive she was of Kevin and how much her death meant to him. It's nice to see Sophie and Kevin on good terms and reminiscing about the past. Number 10, Beth's eulogy for William. Beth, Randall's wife, had a super close and fun-loving relationship with William, and it was definitely a goal for all of us. Before the Memphis trip, she never really got to say goodbye to William as he passed away on the trip. This was incredibly hard for her. During his funeral, Randall passed the mic to Beth, and she had the most beautiful eulogy for him. Everyone cried, including all the viewers. Definitely one of the most heartbreaking goodbyes on the show. That whole episode was a lot of tears and tough goodbyes, but that's what makes This Is Us such a good show. You feel like you're there with the family, grieving with them. And finally, number 11, Rebecca's memory worsens. This is a heartbreaking one for everyone, because we all know what it's like watching our parents grow older, how sad it can be. After visiting Randall's family at their new house in Philadelphia, Randall started to notice Rebecca's growing anger and confusion whenever he brought up her seeing a doctor. Things got worse in the following episodes, and while the audience was only seeing a slow deterioration, this started to move a lot faster in the following episodes and came as quite a heartbreaking shock. Watching Rebecca's battle with her deteriorating health will always be one of the saddest moments of This Is Us, and knowing that there's nothing that anyone can do about it is even worse. Still, we've managed to see some heartfelt moments as well, which have really made up for the sad ones and made us love each character and theory journeys even more. What's the most heartbreaking moment of This Is Us for you? Let us know in the comments below. And that concludes today's video of the most heartbreaking moments from This Is Us. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to turn on post notifications so you can be the first to hear from my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.